Seinfeld Brisbane, review of Brisbane Entertainment Centre show, August 9, 2017 inches. The iconic Seinfeld theme song was almost dumped. Composer Jonathan Wolfe says network bosses originally hated the Seinfeld theme song he came up with, and it was almost dumped. Courtesy, Great Big Story, January 6, 2017. 7 months ago. /display/News Corp Australia.com/web/News Network, Entertainment, syndicated /Jerry Seinfeld had done his homework for Brisbane. Even the politicians got in on Jerry Seinfeld's visit to Brisbane yesterday. Member for Woodridge Cameron Dick, who is Minister for Health and Minister for Ambulance Services in the Queensland Government, used Jerry Seinfeld as a stick to beat the opposition with. Tonight we welcome to Queensland the greatest comedian in the world, Jerry Seinfeld, who hits the big stage in Queensland, Dick said. That got me thinking, what would Jerry Seinfeld make of the Queensland LNP? Would he form the view, like every Queenslander that I talk to, that it is really a show about nothing? We have seen the attempted makeover of the member for Clayfield, opposition leader Tim Nichols, the stays and thongs, the sipping of the shandies in the front bar, the Devil May Care theme park wild rides. Michael Richards as Kramer in Seinfeld. Member for Whitsunday Jason Costigan. However, no makeover will erase the memories of what he did when he was the treasurer, when he reveled in the cut, sack and sell mantra. The only thing that was missing, of course, from him was the urban sombrero. What did he do? What did he say in that very first budget? What did he say to Queenslanders? No jobs for you. The reference to the Soup Nazi episode, No Soup for You, wasn't lost on the other members of Parliament. Dick went on to quote George Costanza, Jason Alexander, and even said member for Whitsunday Jason Costigan bore a resemblance to Kramer, Michael Richards, which was a bit of a stretch. Which just goes to show the sort of impact Seinfeld has had on our culture. Meanwhile, it didn't take Jerry Seinfeld long to get a handle on Brisbane. What was the first thing he noticed about the city? The coffee culture. He told the 13,000 strong sellout crowd at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre we were serious coffee nuts. Since arriving in Brisbane for his Seinfeld live show, people had been pointing out cafes, taking him to cafes, asking him if he wanted another coffee. And he noticed that everyone seemed to have a takeaway coffee in their mitt. People are walking around with these coffee cups like they've won some sort of award, he said. Jerry Seinfeld had his Brisbane audience eating out of his hand. That's gold, Jerry, gold. He referred to Bri Vegas a couple of times, which shows he picks things up quickly, and said his wife had warned him to hydrate while he was here. So he did, demonstrably, sipping his little bottle of celebrity water. The co-creator of Seinfeld, who managed not to mention the show in his hour and a half on stage, became famous for a show that was supposed to be about nothing. It turned out to be about everything though, and his animated, intense stand-up comedy set last night was the same. Life, death, marriage, kids, food, sex. Everything got to go. He had a crack at Australian expressions too, at one stage saying he couldn't believe how much people said no worries in Australia. Everyone seems so worried about not worrying, he said. He forgot where he was at one stage though and asked, "What province is this?" "Queensland," roared the crowd, and he filed it and moved on. Seinfeld is adept as ever at observing the minutiae of everyday life. His audience last night was a revelation, everyone from kids to pensioners, showing what an amazing generational reach he still has. We ran into a few people we knew, in fact a whole family we knew. And no, we know we are on the same page when it comes to loving Jerry Seinfeld. My son, who has been reared on nightly exposure to the show, wistfully watched Jerry exit the stage and said to us, "That's probably the last time I will see Jerry Seinfeld." But hey, Seinfeld is only 63. It's been 19 years since his last tour here, so maybe he'll come back in another 19. He'll be 82 then. Meanwhile, after Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne and Brisbane, Seinfeld now has Sydney in his sights, and they get 2 shows. Originally published as Queensland's answer to Kramer,